Listen, what's up, College Plus? How y'all doing? I guess that was good, but let me try this side. How y'all feeling over here? That's good. Listen, y'all, I didn't put on my 90s, okay, for y'all to just come in with real low energy, okay? I came in my 90s because I heard through the grapevine of good old social media, Instagram, that it is Throwback Thursday. Am I right? Where all my 90s people at? Y'all dressed up, it's only two of us? Nobody else love the 90s? What y'all like, the 2000s? Where? Oh, okay. Well, I was born in the 90s. I'm gonna stay over there, okay? What is it? Come on, girl, with your 70s. Go ahead and strut it for a second. I know that's right. Listen, I know that's right, 70s. She wished she was born back in that decade, all right? All right, well, listen, I just want to honor the house really quick. First, I want to give honor to God, who is the head of my life. I don't think that I could preach, teach, lead, disciple anybody if I don't give honor where honor is due. But I also want to let you know that I know that there's a light on me. I know that there's a mic on me, but I want to let you know that I'm just a girl who is madly in love with Jesus. I'm so madly in love with him that my life, my mission, my purpose in life is to tell as many people as I know about him. So I want to just give complete honor to him. Secondly, I want to give honor to your pastor, Pastor Nick, and all of the College Plus team, because the reality is we get to come in these spaces and absorb, but they are every day thinking about you. They got you in mind of what small groups are gonna look like and what community is gonna feel like and what these rooms are gonna be like because they have you in mind. And so I think it's so necessary to have spaces like this where we can come messy. Can I get an amen? We can come a little jacked up and messed up, and someone here will cover us. And last but not least, you will see them on the screen. This is my covering. This is my family. This is my husband, Pastor Marquise, who is my covering, and then those are my three little disciples, all right? Denver, Dallas, and Destin, and done, all right? That means we ain't having no more kids, but God don't strike me down, because if it's your will, I surrender, okay? That's my crew, and I work, and I say those are my disciples because beyond doing this on the stage, I think there's no greater title than being God's daughter, being a wife, and being a mother. And so my heart's desire is to pour into these kids and my kids, God's kids, and to help them to understand who God is, and that one day they will choose him for himself, right? Not because mama said so, not because daddy is a pastor, but because they've seen that God is the God of their life. He is Lord of Lords, and he is King of Kings. So beyond being here with you tonight, that is what I am called to do. But if you're taking notes tonight, I want you to put the title down of this message. It's called, I'm Covered. Can you go ahead and nudge the person next to you and say, I'm covered? Say it like you mean it, because y'all saying it like y'all not covered. Okay, I'm covered, I'm covered. All right, let's be honest. We all like to be covered. Y'all probably like, Krystal, where you going? Okay, let me bring you onto the boat. When we are driving and we got a meeting to go to, or maybe you got a course to go to on your college campus, or maybe you just got somewhere to go, so you put on your nice clothes and you're dressed up, and then all of a sudden you in this San Antonio traffic, and it starts pouring down raining. All right, you're either going to do one or two things: hope and pray that the rain stops. The second thing is you're going to be looking in your car. Did I bring a what? Come on now, help me preach this thing. Did I bring an umbrella? Because we want to be covered from the rain, because we don't want to smell like no poodle going into our meetings. Am I right, church? All right, let me bring you onto the boat even more. Okay, in my house, it's 69 degrees all the time. We are hot people. Okay, I got a little woo-woo. Okay, I hear that. 69 degrees in my house. So if you're ever invited to my house and you're like, ooh, I do not like that territory, come on, just go ahead and bring you a jacket. You'll be all right. But when me and my family are on the couch hanging out, what do we normally reach for when we're chilling on the couch? Come on now, y'all helping me preach tonight. A blanket, because we want to be covered. All right, ladies, it's me and you in the room. Come on now and lock in. Where y'all at? Lock in with me, okay? Y'all know when y'all are going on a date, right? Come on now. Don't start squirming in your seat now. Okay? Y'all know when y'all going on a date and you kind of feeling them. You kind of liking them a little bit. So you put on your best dress, right? But the coverings you got in your closet don't go with your outfit. Right? So you tell yourself, I'ma just leave that behind. The date is going on and it's starting getting dark. You're like, well, it's getting a little chilly. Well, I'm not talking about San Antonio summertime. I'm talking about cuffing season, okay? I'm talking about winter season, okay? So it get a little chilly outside and you start, ooh, it's a little cold. And what are you hoping that he does?
Give me the jacket.
Come on now, and if he's not giving you a jacket, what you hope he do? Come a little closer to you. Give you a little body heat. Come on now, okay, y'all probably about to judge me and y'all might even try to crucify me, but I'm okay with that because I didn't come to necessarily be liked. I just came to preach the gospel, all right? So, anybody else on TikTok? Man, I'm on TikTok and it got me in a chokehold. I need to be delivered. All right, but do y'all know something called Love Island? Listen, y'all. Listen, I heard some boo and some ah. So I know I got some Nicolandria friends in here. Listen, the only reason I know it before you about to judge me and crucify me is because I've been on TikTok piecing pieces together. All right, so ladies, when Olandria said in front of the group, ooh, I'm a little cold, what did Nick do? Come on, he took his shirt off and gave it to her. Let us talk, ladies, tonight. But listen, we only want that when we like them. Because when we don't like them, we like, ooh, I'm cold, but I don't want to say nothing. I don't want him to think I like him. Because after this date, it's over. All right, fellas, you like, okay, is she talking to the ladies tonight? All right, fellas, let's lock in. This is a sister-brother conversation. All right, I hope I still have y'all once I share this with y'all. It's a brother-sister conversation. Let's go. Fellas, you know when you get sick and you come down with a cold, y'all know it ain't nothing like a man that gets sick and all he want is what? Cuddles, tucked in. Do you care about me? Brother, you ain't about to die. My husband gets sick and he's only supposed to be sick for 3 days. He stretched it out for a whole 7 days. Because when a man gets a cold, he wants to feel that nurture, that care. He wants to be coddled and tucked in. Am I right? All of us want to be covered. All of us want to be covered. Go ahead and say, covered. I'm covered. All of us want to be covered. We want to be covered financially. Can I get an amen? College students. We want to be covered emotionally. We want to be covered in our relationships, our careers, and even our backup plans to the point we get 401ks. Y'all might not be there yet. Y'all like, listen, I'm trying my best. I'm eating top ramen. I can't think about no 401k plan right now. Because deep down, every one of us are asking the same question, and it's this if you're taking notes. If life hits hard, am I covered? That's why as young adults and as adults too, we buy things like life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, or rental insurance. And where are my dog lovers or cat lovers in the building? And y'all, if you ever had to take your pet to the vet, come on, that kind of rhyme. If you ever had to take your pet to the vet, you know they gonna charge you an arm and a leg. So you better get you some pet insurance. Okay, all of us want to be covered. We know life is unpredictable, so we want to be prepared for the just in case. But here's our reality. We trace every kind of coverage except the one that actually secures our soul. Come on, y'all, we chase every kind of coverage except for the one that chases our soul. How do I know this? Because many of us in the room have accepted Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, but we still live like we're on our own. Come on, I came to disrupt some things tonight, making our own way, fighting our own battles. Come on, secret battles, building our own kingdoms. And under all of the busyness, routines, and responsibilities, there's still a quiet question hanging in the balance over all of our lives, and it's this on the screen. Am I really covered? Am I really covered? Don't worry about it if it ain't on the screen. You just write what I'm saying down, okay? We ain't gonna work it out and out. Am I really covered? You know, as I was preparing for this, I had such a great message that I was already worked on for months in advance, and I'm like, yeah, this is the one I'm gonna give to the young adults. This is what every young adult needs to hear. And then as weeks came approaching to my time to come here tonight, God said, no, I want you to talk about my covering. I want you to talk about my covering because it's something about young adults when you want to leave the house and become independent. You leave from your parents or your guardian's covering, and then you don't run to any other covering but the world. Covering. And so I said, well, God, I don't really want to talk about that. I don't really like that message. He said, that's the message you're going to talk about. So I shared it with my husband. I said, Marquise, I got to share this message on covering. He's like, oh, yes, that's the one. I still didn't believe him. That was the second time. Then I go to Florida with Marquise as he was preaching last week. We got there on a Wednesday night, and I said, Marquise, I'm just wrestling. I just really don't know. He said, girl, I'm not about to deal with you no more. Just pray to God about it. So he sent me to the Lord, and I'm glad that he did because I prayed about it. And I said, God, if this is really what you want me to teach on, I need you to make it abundantly clear. How many of y'all need to ask God more than once? God, I don't know if he the right one. He's showing me some red flags, but show it again. Right? I don't know if she's the one, but she's sounding kind of like Huda. It's a little toxic, but kind of like her a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, we like, show me again, show me. I need another sign, you know? That was me, right? So guess what? I get in the car with Marquise. This is Thursday now. We get in the car. We're about to go get some breakfast before he's about to preach. And right when we pull to the light, you'll see, I seen a house, and then I seen this little box. And on the box, it said this. If you could show my picture of it, it said cover, cover, cover. I said, Marquise, does that say cover, cover, cover? He said, how many more signs do you need? Girl, that's the message. So I want to tell you, I was wrestling with it, and God met me in Florida because he knew I was coming to College Plus to talk to you on a Thursday night to tell you about his covering. But I came today as God's little messenger girl to say many Christians treat salvation like spiritual insurance, something we signed in case of an emergency. I put my faith in Jesus because my grandma said so. I put my faith in Jesus because the girl that I like or the boy that I'm feeling said I gotta be a believer. I put my faith in Jesus because I don't want to go to hell. But let's be real, we want to avoid hell in the afterlife, but we are experiencing hell on earth. Because of the decisions we are doing, because of the things we are hiding, that we're actually experiencing hell and not freedom because we have adopted and took on the mantle that we can just do things all by ourselves. But can I tell you something? We are not inviting God into our everyday life. There are still parts of us still hiding. God isn't offering us spiritual insurance. He's offering us spiritual assurance. Can I help somebody tonight? Spiritual insurance says, I'm covered just in case. I don't know if you've ever wrecked a car or something leaked in your apartment or something happened in your parents' house. They thought they had full coverage, but when they brought the people out, they said, oh, but we don't cover that part. Have you ever had that? I thought I had full coverage. Why don't you cover the left side of the car, but you cover the right side of the car? You get what I'm saying? It's that fine print on the insurance that although you think you got full coverage, sometimes there's a clause to it. But spiritual assurance says, I'm covered no matter what. There is no clause. There is no red fine print that you misread and tucked in a drawer. Spiritual assurance, all you got to do is get in the word, and anything the word says and apply it to your life. God is saying that is what I've called you to do. That is your covering. So here's the question I want all of us to be challenged with. Do we actually live like we are covered by God? I know the title of my message is I'm covered, but we get in there because we disrupting some things. Do we actually live like we're covered by God? Because when we don't live under his covering, we fall into 3 dangerous lies. Let me help somebody tonight. The first lie is this: we believe God's boundaries are blocking us. Come on. We treat God's no like he's killing our joy. We treat God's wait a minute, hey, don't pursue her, don't pursue him, hey, don't go to that college, don't leave your parents' house, hey, stay put just a little while. We act like God is killing our joy instead of protecting our future. In the Garden of Eden, the enemy didn't tempt Eve with murder or theft. He didn't tempt her with all of the things we think are big things. He simply questioned God's boundary. I wonder what boundary the enemy is tampering in your mind. I wonder what boundary are you allowing the enemy to question. He said in Genesis, did God really say that? Did God really say, stay put? Did God really say, go do that? I wonder what we are wrestling with as individuals. And if you are not covered by his word, if you are not covered by his presence, and if you are not covered by godly community, you will start listening to the wrong voice. If you see God as someone who's holding you back instead of lifting you up, the enemy doesn't have to steal your purpose. He just has to distort our view of the one who gave us purpose. That's what he did with Eve. He just distorted her view. So if we are thinking God's boundaries are blocking us, the second lie we believe is this: accountability is control. We think accountability is control, someone holding you accountable. We don't like being checked because we think correction is someone trying to limit us. Can I just get in your business? Or maybe I could just expose my business. When I was in high school, I kind of grew up a little fast because I grew up in a single parent home. As my siblings, I have 5 siblings, we had to take care of each other, right? So when I hit a certain age, I'm like, my mom is trying to tell me stuff and do stuff. I'm like, girl, I got this figured out. I can't wait to move up out of here because I know what I'm doing. I remember telling her about friends, girlfriends or guy friends that I had. I'm like, Mom, I got the best friend. She's dope. She's this, she that. She get her eyes on him. She's like, that ain't your friend. Did you see how she was looking at you? Did you see what she was doing? That ain't your friend. We keep saying, I'm good, I got this, but let's be real, you tired, sis. Brother, you're burnt out. We are making emotional decisions, stuck in silent cycles and drifting further from who God has called us to be. But I came, like I said, as God's little messenger girl to tell you real accountability doesn't control you. It covers the parts of you that's still becoming. I heard someone else say this before. She was on a podcast, I forgot who it was, but she said, to be held accountable, we also sometimes forget the holding part. So the reason why we wrestle with accountability is because the people that we talk to, they want to just correct us, tell us where we did things wrong, tell us what we could do right, instead of saying, hey, let me hold you for a second, because I feel you need a hug. Before I come and correct you, I want to be able to hold you and let you know that I'm here and let you know that I'm for you. At the same time, I'm going to give you grace, but I'm also going to speak truth at the right time. So accountability is important. And maybe I should say it like this: God's trying to protect the version of you that hasn't fully arrived yet. The third lie we believe is we don't need anybody. Where are my strong brothers and sisters at? We call it independence, but in reality, it's isolation dressed up as strength. But let's be clear, isolation is the enemy's playground. Even when I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about isolation, because I'm a strong friend, I could do a lot for everybody else, and then when it's time for me to figure out what I need, sometimes it's hard to articulate it. But over the last 5 years, I said, I can't keep living like this because I'm living less than what God has for me. So I gotta open up to somebody. But I love the Animal Planet. Anybody else love Animal Planet? I got a love-hate relationship with the zoo, though. Because I'm like, why they take these animals from their natural habitat? But then I'm like, but if y'all didn't have the zoo, I wouldn't see these animals. So I kind of got this love-hate relationship with them, but one of the animals I like really a lot is lions. Lions, right? And one thing that I've learned is that even lions don't attack a herd. Why? Because then they put themselves in danger. They wait for the one who wanders off. And the enemy is no different. He knows you without community. You without covering equals you being exposed. So I want you to think about this question and let it disrupt some things in your heart. What happens when we stop yielding to God's covering and start creating our own? What happens? Give yourself a moment to think about that. I want us to go to the word. We're gonna start in Genesis. And if you got a Bible or your phone, if it's on the screen, you can follow through. But the backstory is this: God placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, a paradise full of freedom, beauty, abundance. They could eat from any tree except one, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That was God's one boundary, a line that he did not want them to cross. And Adam and Eve crossed it because the enemy questioned God's boundaries and tried to paint a better picture. We pick up here in Genesis 3 and 7, and this is an example of false covering. Then the eyes of both of them were open, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. The moment sin entered, Adam and Eve did what all of us would have done. They tried to cover themselves. The first thing that we do when we sin against God is we try to fix it ourselves. Do I have anybody in the room that the moment you make a mistake, you try to clean it up before you present it to yourself, to anybody else? Am I wrong? Oh, just me and you, sis? We don't only want to do it. Another person? All right, I better see some hands in here, because if y'all ain't telling the truth, that means y'all lying. Okay? Here's the thing: fig leaves can also look like, in our day and age, trying to step on whoever's toes to get to success. It can look like toxic relationships. It can look like uncontrollable hustle. It can look like control. It can look like perfectionism. The thing we normally gravitate to cover us looks like it works, but it can't heal those soul deep issues that you have. You see, the enemy knows that he can't create. All he can do is corrupt. And so he needed Eve to get a little bit by herself so that he could deceive her. So he twists what God intended for your protection and turns it into pride, shame, and self-reliance. When we try to cover ourselves because of sin, it's because we feel exposed, unworthy, and reactive. But can I tell you something about God's covering? Go ahead and say, I'm covered. God's covering looks like Psalms 91, verse 1. It says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadows of the Almighty. Psalms 91 and 4 says, he will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. He said he will cover you with his feathers. This is a metaphor between a mother bird and her young. He was given a depiction of when you are under God's covering, he's tenderhearted. When you are under God's covering, he's near you. When you are under God's covering, he can take your whole weight, all that you are, all that you have done, even the things that you don't like about yourself, and still cover you. It makes me think of when I had my boys, and the simple fact of the matter is they needed me. They needed what I have. If I didn't give them what I had, if I didn't give them love and care and chest to chest and all the things, they would have been feeling some type of way and could even feel detached. That's why in the hospital, the doctors say, if the husbands or boyfriends or whatever the situation may be, you know what I'm saying? Doctor said, do chest to chest with the baby. God was given a metaphor of a mother bird shielding her young. Can I let you know that God's covering isn't a one-time thing? It's a lifestyle. Somebody say lifestyle. God's covering is not for those who visit his presence. It's for those who dwell in it. Okay? If you just come in to College Plus to just check off a box or just to have fun, you're coming to just be in his visit, just to visit it. But God is looking for a generation of people who will come and dwell with him, who will come and sit with him, who, you got some problems, you got some issues, but instead of trying to cover yourself, he said, would you just sit with me for a little while? Would you just wait on me just for a little while? Would you believe that I'm a God that sees all things, knows all things, chose you at this particular time to cover you and be your refuge? But we come here and we just want to check them off. I did that, Lord. I hope that's good enough for you. But I want to park here if y'all go with me to Luke 15 and 20. What's my time, Lord? Help me, Lord. Luke 15, 20, we're going to talk about what God's covering actually is, what it looks like. It says in Luke 15 and 20, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. I want to break this down. The son was a long way off. So let's just imagine in our mind, he's at that Starbucks over there in that corner right here. Y'all know where I'm talking about. I don't know directions. Right there. The Starbucks y'all go to. Right? He was dirty. He was broken. Still probably rehearsing his apology. But here's the good news. God's covering moves faster than our shame. Before the son can explain, the father runs to him. Before the son can beg for forgiveness, the father embraces him. There was no lecture. There was no delay. The father met his son with compassion, not condemnation. Why? Because covering is what the father does best. It's why Jesus went to the cross. If God wanted us to sew fig leaves over ourselves and to cover ourselves, thinking we're independent, don't need nobody, and we could do bad all by ourselves, why would he wrap himself in flesh, send him down to a dying nation and say, I need you to go die on the cross for their past sins, their present sins, and their future sins so that I can be in communication with them? If God wanted you to cover yourself, he would not have sent himself to die on the cross because he wanted to be in connection with us. It defeats the purpose. So it goes on in verse 21, it says, the son said to the father, or said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Can I tell you that shame lies about your worth? The son believed he was disqualified, and maybe that's you too. Thinking your internal fight, your internal struggle, your shame is disqualifying you from God's house. But God's not intimidated by your dirt. He's not shocked by your detour, and he's definitely not erasing your identity because of your mistake. We pick up in 22, and it says, but the father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put on a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Did you catch that? The father never even addressed his son's sin. Why? Because nothing could change his sonship. He didn't correct him, he covered him. Which brings me to this, and you can see it on the screen, and if it's not up there, you can just take it, write it in your notes. Distance doesn't change your position. Maybe I'll say it like my husband say it, and maybe you will woo it down. Your distance from the house doesn't change your position in the house. For someone in the room, you might not be a prodigal on the outside, but you're a prodigal on the inside. Right? You may not be far away and looking dirty and everybody know that you messed up, but you might be like the other son in the house who stayed, right? Who had it all figured out, who was very self-righteous, who thought that he was doing everything right and he was better than his brother. And so he stayed and he had this self-righteousness in his heart. So you may not look dirty like the prodigal son, but your prodigal may be hidden in your heart. You just may be better at covering it up. Right? You may be better at keeping the shame suppressed, getting everybody else's information and then going home crying, hoping somebody just see you for what you really are and who you really are instead of hiding. Many of us look at the prodigal son and we're like, well, that ain't me. I didn't squander things. But I came to let somebody know you got to check your heart. You've probably been hiding, wrestling with anxiety, pride, shame, guilt, doubt. You've been performing like you are clean, terrified of what people might think of you if they knew the truth. But what if I told you today? What if I told you it's God knocking at your heart saying, daughter, this robe is for you. Son, I know you went the other way, but this ring is for you. Sis, these sandals are for you. Brother, this celebration is for you. And I can imagine the prodigal son who went off and squandered everything is trying to figure out and calculate in his mind, how is this happening for me? How am I getting praised and celebrated when I went and did the wrong thing? And it's because God's covering he doesn't challenge you by what you do and shame you by the things that you've done or will do or have done. He covers you in his wings to protect you. Someone in this room today needs to know and fully accept this. Restoration comes first. Cleaning happens in his presence. How many of y'all try to go to God and clean yourself up? You want to get yourself right before you come to him. I want to tell my small group leaders, I got everything under control. Everything is good with me. I'm good. But in the depths of your soul, you hurting, right? I just came to remind somebody, because I know it's not something you probably don't know, but restoration comes first. Cleaning happens in his presence. You cannot clean yourself up and make yourself more righteous by yourself. It takes the blood of the living God to clean you up. It takes his presence. I grew up, like I said, in a single parent home, and my brother that's right above me, we're like best friends. I mean, we fought all the time, but we like also, ran everything all the time. Danced together, laughed together, all the things. Lived in the same house. And when he turned 18, he went in a totally different direction. He started drinking, and mind you, I asked him, could I share this, and he's okay with it. He started drinking. Drinking turned into weed. Weed turned into crystal meth. And I started to think like, why I gotta be crystal meth? Because my name is Krystal. That's wrong, okay? It's just wrong. But he started to get into these different things, right? And he was a prodigal son that left, squandered everything, had so much shame and guilt, wrestled with very similar things that I wrestled with as a child. We grew up in the same house, so how can one preach the gospel and try to do the things God is calling her to do, and then the other one's on the street? My brother was on the street. I lived away from home for about 10 years now, and I would get calls from my grandmother. Hey, I just seen your brother. He had one shoe on and one shoe off. He had some shorts and a jacket. I mean, he just looked crazy, and it broke my heart because I preach and I teach and I lead and I sit with God and I pray and I do all this, and God, how come I can't get to my brother? People come to know Jesus because of my life, but when my brother and I get on the phone, I'm telling them, hey, you can always come home. There's a place for you. There's covering for you. No matter what you've done, there's nothing that can separate you from the love of God, and he would be on the other side of the phone cursing me out. Because it wasn't him. It was the things that he was under, right? And so recently, my older brother and I, we just got tired of it, and we said, you know what, we can't make him go get help, but we sure can pray that he receives the help he needs. And God, if you use us, we want to be the change agents in his life. And so my older brother and I will just pray every day, started in January of this year. And every day we on the phone talking and we praying. One day I get a call 2 months ago. I got our brother. He said he's ready to change. I jumped, I leaped out of my couch for joy because I'm like, oh my gosh, my brother is coming home. How many times did I try to get to him? And he told me this, Krystal, you always was the one covering me. That's why I called you all the time, because I just wanted to hear your voice. He said, but I remember the things you told me. He said, it didn't matter how far left or how far right I went, God still wants to use me. That never left me. He said, I was homeless, preaching to all the other homeless people, telling them the things you were telling me. And so there's 3 things that I told my brother out of the 22 years of him being on drugs, 22. I said the first thing is this: covering isn't control, it's protection. God isn't trying to lock you in, he's trying to keep you from falling apart. Number 2, you are never too far to be recovered. Some of you walked in here tonight thinking God is done with you, but I came as your sister and to tell you that no, he is not. And the third thing is, choose the right covering. My brother kept being around the wrong people that was leading him down the wrong places. And so I told him, brother, you got to choose the right people to do life with. So choose the right covering in community. And sometimes God's covering it also looks like a church family. Your pastor you submitted to. The one that checks on your soul. Maybe it looks like a small group, a community group, where people can actually call you up and call you out. And here's my plug, and Pastor Nick did not tell me this. If you are not in a community group, if you are not doing life on life with somebody else, can I tell you, that is the area where the enemy wants to trip you up. If he could just get you to isolate and be on your own and have a crowded calendar and can't never fit in community. You come to these things once a week, but you know that your soul needs something more than that. I'm telling you, get into godly community. And the last one, a mentor that loves you and who keeps it real. But let me tell you this, I know that there's somebody in here tonight that you're probably still unsure. You're like, Krystal, that girl had me laughing. That girl had me disrupting things in my heart. But there's still some things that I'm still unsure about. I'm unsure if God can really carry what I got going on. Because the people that I've told the things that I wrestle with, they went radio silent the moment I said it. But can I tell you, God isn't like those people? So if you're a doubting in the room, and come on, I'm a fellow doubter. I hate to even say that. I wish I could just believe without seeing, right? But if you find yourself doubting and unsure that God can actually cover you and keep you and show you what he has for you, I want you to get in your word and ask Daniel. Thrown into the lion's den for staying faithful, but he came out without a scratch because God shut the mouths of the lions to cover him. I want you to go home and look in your Bible and ask Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, thrown into the fire that should have burned them alive, but there was a fourth man in a fire. And they came out not even smelling like smoke. That's what covering looks like. I want you to go home and ask Moses. He had a speech problem. He killed a man. He doubted himself. But when God called him to stand before Pharaoh, he didn't go alone. God covered him with purpose, power, and his presence. He said, I will be with you. Come on, sis. I want you to go home and ask Mary. Ask Mary, a teenage girl pregnant with a child the world wouldn't understand. She risked rejection, shame, and being stoned, but God covered her with favor, strength, and Joseph's support. It says in Luke 1:28, you are highly favored. Come on, brother, and go ahead and ask David. He fell into sin, deep sin, but when he repented, God didn't discard him. He covered him with mercy and called him a man after his own heart. Come on, y'all, and help me to ask Peter. Oh, Peter, he denied Jesus not once but 3 times. But Jesus met him again and said, go and feed my sheep. He was covered with grace and a second chance. If you still are doubtful, I want you to go ask the woman with the issue of blood. 12 years of bleeding, 12 years of shaming. She wasn't even supposed to be in the crowd, but she did whatever she could do to get to the hem of his garment because she heard about a man who could clean her up. And so she got to him, and not only was she healed, but she was covered, empowered. Daughter, your faith has made you well. I don't know what sister I'm talking to here tonight. Maybe you got some things going on in your body, and all you need to do is get to his word and eat his word and read his word and fall in love with his word and live by his word, and his word begins to change you. If you're still unsure, go ahead and ask Jonah. He ran from God. He was swallowed by a fish, but God didn't give up. He covered him with another chance. Ask Rahab, a prostitute in Jericho. She believed, she helped, she hid the spies, and God didn't just cover her life, he saved her family and wrote her into the lineage of Jesus. If you're still unsure, ask Hagar, alone in a desert, cast out and forgotten. But God saw her, spoke to her, and covered her with his promise. Genesis 16:13. You are the God who sees me. I need somebody in this room who feels like you're lonely and you're counted out. I want to let you know that you serve a God who sees you. Ask the woman caught in adultery. dragged before Jesus, surrounded by stones, but he covered her with compassion, not condemnation. Neither do I condemn you. Now go and sin no more. This is what it looks like to do life in community with truth and grace. When you mess up, they look at you, they cover you, but they also correct you and say, now go, brother. Now go, sister, and sin no more. And if none of those people work for you, I want you to go ahead and ask me. A doubter, judgmental, hard-headed, prideful, yet still God covered me. When I should have been counted out, he kept me. When I ran from him, he ran after me. Not because I got it all right and figured out, but because his grace met me first. The truth is, whether you are found in the fire, the pit, the palace, or the pig pen, whether you are bleeding, broken, and barely holding on, I want you to know that you are covered, not because you are perfect, not because you have earned it, but because he is who he says that he is. And he's the God who knows all things. He can't lie. He won't change his mind about you. If his word said it, then that settles it. Every lie, every fear, every situation that rises up against his word and his promise has to bow. It says that every knee and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So if you're still on the brinks of understanding, will God cover you? Will God shield you? I want you to know that his word stands and it's approved. It is well approved. And so he wants you to know, believe by faith that you are covered despite what it is that you go through. And if you do not remember anything that I have said tonight, I'm only talking to a few people because I know God has placed this on my heart, because I know this is not what I was going to preach on. But if you don't remember anything, I want you to remember this. God doesn't meet you with shame. He actually covers you with a robe. And I just want to know who in this room would be so willing to get in your secret place. Maybe you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know who to turn to, but you would get guts enough, boldness enough, godly confidence enough to say, God, I don't know, my whole bottom is out, but I trust you. God, I try to do it my own way, and I see that my own way was starting to do me. And so, God, I want to surrender my life to you. God, I want to help trust you with your covering. But God, it's hard, and I don't even know where to start. If you find yourself in the room and you realize through this text that you thought you were covered, but you realize, man, I actually left his covering, would you just stand up so that I can pray for you? I can't even see you, so even if it's one, I know I'm doing the job that God has assigned me to. That you thought you were covered, but you realize as you are listening to this message that, I kind of drifted away from his covering. Maybe you are the prodigal son who ran away because you're just trying to figure it out. I'm talking to the one who's struggling with mother and daddy issues. I'm talking to the one who's struggling so deep and bad, and you're trying to fill the void with all these other things, and none of it is satisfying. I'm talking to the one who's self-righteous. Maybe you're the brother in the house. Maybe you are judgmental. Maybe you think your stuff don't stink. Would you accept God's covering? You're not doing it for me, and you're not doing it for the person to the right or to the left of you. This is a thing between you and your God, our God. So, Father God, we come to you tonight